Alrighty, well today's guest, I am so excited, Luke, to have you in person in the studio with me because today's guest, guys, is someone who has lived quite the public life. What I love about you is that you've never hidden the fact that it's a deeply human one and you're so vulnerable and you're so honest. You've lived so many lives already. I feel like you'd either know him from NRL, from BookTok, basically blindsiding TikTok with your incredible book reviews and making people feel things probably in more ways than one. Sorry, Luke. But honestly, it's been incredible to watch your journey. I've been following you for a while now. So it's an absolute pleasure to have Luke Bateman on So Alli. Welcome.
Oh, thank you, Ali. I really appreciate that. We've known each other for a few years now, I think. So
I know. I was thinking about this the other day because we just saw each other at the Actors. We did a little talk for I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, which we'll go into. But I was thinking, like the last time I saw you before that was when, I don't know if you'd remember it, but I was in my neck brace after I broke my neck.
Yeah.
You came to my apartment.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember.
Isn't that wild? Like,
no, the time we saw each other before that was at Beauty and the Beast, the musical.
Yes, you were sitting a few rows behind me.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've only met like a handful of times, but they've been very, very different circumstances.
Yes.
So I'm very much looking forward to sitting down with you today and unpacking everything, getting to know you on a deeper level.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, it'd be good. So I thought we could start. I didn't want to jump.
You do question cards, do you?
I've got a few notes.
It's very, very fun. I need to get some of them for my podcast.
Yeah, kind of fun.
No, I like it.
Like otherwise I lose track because I've got so much I want to ask you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could start from throwing it back to your childhood and your upbringing and stuff. But I thought we could start with something a little bit more fun, and something that I do with my guests is basically hitting them with like a 10-question, get to know you type deep dive.
Beautiful.
But the questions change for every guest. So this 10 are different from the last 10.
Yeah.
Anything from life, love, career, personality, and so on. So let's dive straight into it.
Beautiful.
So Luke, when you strip away everything you do for work at the moment in the public eye, who are you when no one's watching? It's a big question to start with, but I'm like,
great question.
Let's go for it.
That's a really fantastic question. This is something this is actually a question that I ask myself all the time. And I say,
it is a good self-aware question to ask yourself.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's if you take away, if you woke up tomorrow morning and you didn't have a house, you didn't have a car, you didn't have a job, you had no money, you had no social media followers, just strip everything back.
Yeah.
Who are you? And I ask myself that question all the time.
Yeah.
And truly, I think at the end of the day, who I am is just a little boy who loves stories about magic.
Yeah.
And loves fantasy.
Yeah.
And just really wants to be kind.
Yeah. That's so good. And that comes across from your social media too, which is really, really nice. And I do love that you seem to embrace your inner child a lot, which I think is a really nice thing.
I've had to do a lot of inner child work.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of years where I didn't embrace that young kid.
Yes, I'm exactly the same. I have a few questions about it and we'll get into it a little bit later on. Question number 2 is, what do you hope people feel when they're around you? Like meeting someone for the first time.
I would just hope that they feel welcome.
Yeah, it's a good word.
Yeah, I would just hope that they feel welcome to. I really hate, and you would probably be similar in this sense, I really hate when people, if they first meet you or when they're around you, they think that they have to, they might see you like and think of your like status or be like, oh, that's Ali Simpson or and sort of change who they are. But I would
like change who they are.
Or feel like they have to have some sort of
when you
some
don't.
demeanor towards you.
Yeah.
I'm a human.
Yeah.
I'm no different to anybody else.
Absolutely.
I'm fallible. I'm flawed. I make mistakes.
Yeah.
I go to the toilet.
Had to throw that one in there. Yeah.
I do.
We're all
human.
human.
We're all human.
Yeah.
And I'm no different to anybody. And I would hope that when people come up to me and talk to me, that they just see me as their equal and as their peer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a really, really good answer. Coming off the back of that, do you think when it comes to making decisions, it could be about anything in life, are you more of like a head, heart or gut decision maker? It's probably circumstantial most of the time, but.
Yeah, I can be very stubborn.
What's your star sign? That's a really crazy thing.
I'm an Aquarius.
Yeah, okay. I'm a Taurus, so I'm extremely stubborn as well.
I have no idea about star signs, but
that's all I know about Taurus. Stubborn.
I have to remind myself constantly because I think I always have that urge where I go, when I'm making a decision, I just go, oh, that's the decision I want to make. That's the one. Like, but the first decision I think of, like my instinctual decision, I'm like, that's the one.
Yeah.
And I really have to remind myself and take a step back and say, okay, hold on, just woo up there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
What's actually like? Think about this. Who's involved? What's involved? What does it mean? Like, what's going to happen here?
Yeah.
I would say that nowadays, I'd say I used to be decision making was very emotional for me.
Yeah.
But I like to think nowadays decision making is more intellectual.
Yeah, okay. Makes so much sense. But I do think that like making decisions like off the bat could also be good in a way because I feel like instinct is usually true, like gut instinct.
You follow your
like
gut.
like instinct over everything sort of thing. So
I think it's your gut's going to tell you what's right, but it's just taking a step back and say, okay, let's just question this gut for a second.
Yeah. Totally. What is one thing you feel most proud of within yourself, I guess, over the last few years? It's probably a super loaded question, but.
It's difficult to think of one thing.
Yeah,
I think, and pride's an interesting one too for me because pride goes before the fall. I think pride can be a real crux for us, but I am really satisfied in myself and content within myself as to overcoming addiction.
Yeah.
That's something that I am really proud of.
Yeah.
And something that really shapes me and really has shaped me.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And it's something that I hold quite dearly to my heart, because there was a lot of years where that wasn't assured.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you should be really proud of that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. A little bit more of a fun one. If you could have one superpower or a magic trick that you could like just pull out at any time, like given your love for magic and fantasy, what would it be?
Oh,
I always find it hard to pick one.
You can't pick one.
I just thought it'd be a good question to ask you.
I think being who I am, I would have to go back to which magic system would I want in. So
it goes deeper.
Yeah, so high fantasy has magic systems.
Okay.
So instead of just picking one,
I'm learning.
Yeah. So instead of just picking one ability, I would say I would probably go which magic system do I want.
Okay.
And the magic system that I would like to be able to use is the magic system within my favourite fantasy series, which is the Demon Cycle by Peter V. Brett. And it's a warded magic system. And
I like that.
The wards, so you can paint your body with wards.
Right.
And each ward has like a different, it's defensive, offensive, that kind of thing. And it obviously like can heal and strengthen and all that kind of stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah. So I think if I could choose
was so much more deep than what I thought you were going to say. Like I thought it was going to be something super simple, but I love that.
I can see, I just would like to fly around, No.
Well, that's me.
But yeah, I'd like the warded magic system from the Demon Cycle series by Peter V. Brett. There you go.
Amazing. Where for me, like you said, I'd probably like to fly around because like my first, I guess the first book series that I remember from when I was young was called
was it Maximum Ride?
No, it was like I was so young. It was like Rainbow Magic Fairies by Daisy Meadows or something, I think it was. And I was just like obsessed with the fairies and I just thought that I was a fairy. So that was just me.
So you just wanted like fairy
I just want a fairy everywhere. Just fly everywhere.
I love that.
I might ask you off of that, what was the first book series that you read that really had or made an impression on you when you were a kid?
Yeah, great question again.
Yeah.
The very first book series that I remember absolutely falling in love with is the Children of the Lamp series by P.B. Kerr.
Okay.
And that follows two young kids. They're a boy and a girl, a twin brother and sister, and they're genies. And they come from a genie family.
Mm-hmm.
So they would travel around the world on a flying carpet with, the lamp that you could rub and the genie would come out of, and they used to fight, like just do challenges around the world against. Yeah. So that was the first series that I really fell in love with.
Yeah, amazing. I love that because you've got a twin sister, right?
I do have a twin sister.
Yeah, because I've been listening to podcasts. And I feel like in a creepy way I've been getting to know you through other people.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably how most people would know me.
Well, yeah. I guess that's how it works these days.
Yeah, that's
isn't it?
right.
It's
Yeah.
like you can know everything about anybody very quickly.
Yes.
What about when was the last time you cried and why?
To this morning.
Really?
Yeah. I cry all the time though. That's not a
me
bad
too.
question.
I
I'm a
cried
big
everything and
crier.
anything.
I cry all the time.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful.
Was it a good cry or a bad
It
cry?
was a really lovely cry.
Oh,
So
that's
I
good. That makes me
recorded,
happy.
I recorded a podcast episode of my own podcast, and we do
This morning?
Yeah, this morning. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So we do listener audio.
Yeah.
And Angus was his name, and he sent through an audio. And the audio opens up, and it's kind of a little bit scratchy. And I was like, oh, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then you hear like a little kid like going like, oh, mum, Dad, like in the background.
Yeah.
And then and then you could hear Angus's wife reading a book to their son.
Stop it. That's so nice.
And then Angus sort of jumped in and said like, hey, Luke, this is a favourite part of my day. Every night we read a book to my 2.5-year-old son.
Wow.
And it's a favourite part of my day.
How special
and
is
I cried.
that?
It was beautiful.
It would have made me cry too.
Yeah. And I broke down. It was wonderful.
It's so nice. Yeah, see, I love crying. I think it's great. Good and bad,
absolutely.
the ugly. Yeah, we have to do it. What about something small that brings you peace in a way that you didn't expect or wouldn't have expected? Could be something super simple.
Well, if we talk about something small that brings me peace, I think of books.
Yeah, of course.
Not sure. Many things bring me peace.
Yeah.
But what is small? You know what? Like just a cup of tea.
See, that's a perfect small thing that brings you peace. Just sitting on the couch with a book and a cup of tea.
Just like a cup of tea. I always find comfort and stability in a cup of tea. You know, it's always whenever I'm feeling anxious or nervous, I'll always go make myself just like a herbal cup of tea.
It's nice.
And sit down.
Just sit, be still.
Yeah, and be still.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think, they are cups of peace.
Cups of peace. It's so cute. Hugging a cup of peace. That's so nice. Something that I think that my listeners may like to know on like a love point of view. What do you think true love is to you?
Ooh, true love to me.
Be like, it could be a word, it could be a sentence, doesn't have to be long, just. I find it's always an interesting question to ask.
It's interesting.
It has layers.
Love, it does.
Yeah.
I think we live in a world. Sorry, this is going to be a very long answer.
No, I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready for it.
We live in a world where we're very conditioned to see love as romantic. And we're conditioned to see romantic love or true love or soulmates as the be all and end all. Yeah. And if you don't
you see in the movies.
Exactly, like you see in the movies, like the happy ending. And if you don't have romantic love, you are seen as like lesser or missing. You're missing something. You don't have that. But we live the world we live in is so abundant with love. And I have love in every aspect of my life, whether it be the love of books, my love of reading, my love of writing, my love of sitting here and talking to a friend, the love I have with my family, the love I have with my friends, platonic love. Love is so abundant in our world. And we are so conditioned to view just the 1% of love as the be all and end all. And it's very, very harmful. So when you ask me what true love means to me, I think it is just the connection, like the day-to-day connection we have with the things that give us meaning.
Yeah.
That's true love. And for me, that comes in many forms, but once again, I think of books and I think of stories.
Yeah.
And I love them. And true love to me is being lost in a story.
Yeah. That was a beautiful answer.
Thank you.
I've asked that question to many people and, it can be so, so different. And that was something that no one's ever really said and unpacked it in a way that you just did. So that's really lovely.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah. I think, it's prominent to me and you would be the same, Alli, when people meet you or you meet someone or you catch up with family or friends or whatever and they say, oh, if have you been seeing anyone? Are you dating anyone? Blah, blah. and it always makes me, I always think to myself, why do we as a society, why is that something that we care about?
Yeah,
I'm not
and why
saying
is
it's
it
right
one
or
of
wrong.
the first questions that people ask?
Exactly.
Like I don't know.
When you meet someone new, you're like, hey, what's your name? You're like, oh, do you have a partner? Like that's like the second or third question.
You're so right. In many circumstances.
Why is it not, if I'm meeting you, why do I care about what relationship you have.
Totally. Like you want to get to know someone,
The person,
first. Like that doesn't define who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting. Anyway, that's just some spitballing from
I
me.
loved it. It was the perfect long answer. So good. And last of those 10, what's a lesson that you have had to learn the hard way and that has changed how you move through the world today?
So many to choose from.
Yeah.
Compassion. I had to learn compassion the most hard way possible. And that began with compassion for myself. When
starts there, hey?
Everything starts with yourself. Everything begins internally. If you want to be kind, loving, caring, generous, charitable, everything begins internally. You have to be able to give that to yourself before you can give it to anybody else.
Yeah.
But compassion was one of the hardest things that I've learned, and that came through my journey with addiction, and that came more so in the recovery.
Yeah, okay.
Because during my recovery, I became very resentful and hateful and spiteful towards the addict of version of myself.
Yeah.
I hated that person, and I hated what they did, and I hated what they said.
So you just held that like inner,
and I held that within me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that then created a set of its own issues in my life. And then I had to sit down with the addict part of me, the part that hurt his mother, the part that stole, the part that lied, the part that cheated, like the
most confronting things.
The worst parts of me. And I had to tell them that I loved them and that they were welcome. And I think, compassion is, and then if I can give that compassion to myself and the absolute worst parts of myself, it makes it very easy to give that compassion to other people in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful answer.
Oh, thank you.
Again, you're like the easiest person to have on the podcast ever because your answers are just beautiful. So I thank you for that. So that's the 10 questions. So on a bit of a lighter note, I wanted to move straight into talking about I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here because it's currently airing on Channel 10 and 10 Play, and everyone's enjoying watching you. I watched you do a trial last night that was absolutely horrible. You had, like your eating trial. What'd you eat?
I had a pig's anus and a lamb's tongue.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Your favourite?
It wasn't that bad.
You were good at it.
Yeah, but that's a mind over matter thing.
Totally. Just, I mean, not for me. It was probably a little bit harder for me, but but anyway, you've been a delight to watch on the show. So I thought, seeing as we've both done it and it's an experience we've both been through, I thought it would be kind of fun to unpack it a little bit and ask a few questions about
Absolutely.
it. First of all, what made you want to do the show in the first place? Did you say this is something I want to do, or did you get approached?
Whoa. No, they approached me.
Yeah.
And, we sat down, we had a meeting, and I was kind of in the beginning, I was like, I have a lot of stuff going on, and I have business.
I'm already busy enough.
Yeah, I was like, I'm already pretty busy. And they sort of took me through it, and they actually said a few things to me that kind of brought me around, and they said, this is a once in a lifetime experience. And
it really is.
And it is, absolutely. And everyone says it's a life-changing experience. And that, for me, when they sort of said that, that's when I was like, okay.
You see it in a different way, hey.
And then it became, instead of being recording a TV show, it became a challenge to me.
Yeah, I get that.
And once you challenge me, that's when I'm like,
you've got me.
Yeah, you've got me.
Yeah.
So I think it then became a bit of this is something that I'm going to do and overcome.
Yeah.
And I'm big on overcoming fears and that kind of thing, and challenges and hardships. Yeah. So once it became that in my mind, that's when I was locked in.
Yeah.
And truly, that's why I did it. And
that's so good.
I even said, when we were on the panel the other day, I don't think me going on that show will help sell more books, which is, what I want to do. I want to write, be an author.
Well, you didn't go on it for the wrong reasons.
No.
You went on it for the challenge and because it was a once in a lifetime experience.
Yes, exactly.
Not to be on TV in front of Australia and, Yeah, so it's really good.
And it was wonderful, and truly it was a life-changing experience.
I second that big time. Yeah. Was there a moment, we spoke about it on the panel, in camp when you first thought, oh shit, like this is real. Like, and I'm in here for a few weeks and like with all these people and what am I going to do now?
Yeah. It was when I got hungry. Like the starvation.
The hunger is so real.
How hungry did you get?
It was bad.
Yeah.
But the thing is that like I was so bad with the food that they kept like bringing in. Like when you would win challenges, like it was like, yeah, I eat everything. Like I mean, I thought I would eat everything, but the kinds of, animals and stuff they give, I'm like, oh, haven't eaten crocodile before.
Yes.
Haven't had
Yeah.
ostrich egg before.
Yes. Yeah.
They're new experiences. Happy to try them.
Yeah.
But I did find myself like sometimes giving my food to like
Other
Dipper
people.
and the bigger guys that were like so hungry where I'm like, I could probably like go without it. Just give me more rice. Like give me more rice and beans.
Yes.
And I'll eat that. Like,
yeah. So that, no, I completely understand.
Yeah.
And that's when I started getting into that, I went from hungry into starvation. And that's when
and it messes with everything.
And that's when I just not shut down, but
Yeah.
I just was so lethargic and I just was sleeping all the time.
Yeah.
And I just had
I found I was
energy.
sleeping all the time too.
Yeah, because I had no energy.
Yeah, even
And
to
that's when it
socialize
became-
with other people.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess that was my next question. Like, how did the day-to-day hunger affect you and your personality? Like, you kind of feel like, I mean, for me, sometimes I felt like I wasn't myself. Like, I'm usually a social butterfly and I'll go and talk to everyone in the room. Like, I'll float around but in the jungle, I was like, I just want to go to my bed and
go to
sleep.
sleep.
Like, oh my God,
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm lucky in the sense that I've worked so hard for so long on my emotional regulation.
Yes.
That I was still pretty
good.
stable. Yeah, I was still pretty stable in there the entire time. But I think what it truly affected the most, I was still myself, but I was just very, I would say, antisocial at times.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, I just need to peace and quiet.
Yeah. And you have so many hours in the day to just.
Yeah, and that too.
It's just the days are long.
Yeah,
the days are so long in the jungle. Speaking of the hunger and stuff, was there a specific food that you thought about the most? Like a meal, like something that's your favorite that you would have just devoured?
Just steak.
Yeah.
Just steak.
Just a good steak.
I'm a steak man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a steak man.
Yeah, any kind of good steak. For me, I was like any kind of good steak, any kind of like palmy or just any kind of like pub feed I would have been so down for.
Pub feed, yeah.
That was so funny talking to other people in the jungle about like, what do you want? And it was like,
but you would have been, I'm sure, it was all we talked about.
Yeah.
All
it
we
like
talked
excites
about.
you.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting a rush. I'm getting an adrenaline like rush.
Day we were talking about food every day. It's
so
wild.
funny.
Yeah.
Talking about your experience as a whole, what would you say was your best takeaway about the whole experience? Like the best part of that experience for you?
I would say my biggest takeaway was actually friendship that I have from that, which my friendship with Conchetta Caristo.
Yeah. She's amazing.
Incredible.
Oh.
Beautiful.
She's like a salt of the earth human. She
is light in human form. She's an angel.
Oh, that's such a nice way of describing someone.
Yeah,
so
she
cute.
is truly. Yep.
Yeah.
She's wonderful, and I formed such a beautiful bond with her in there.
Nice.
That I left and I just, I said to her, I was just like, we're just going to be friends for life.
Yeah.
And I still talk to her like every day.
It's so good. That's what I found. It's like you get to know people like we were talking about before on a human level because you're not in there. You don't have the distractions of phones or your life, or you don't have to be anywhere.
Yeah.
You're not owing anyone anything in that moment. You're genuinely getting to know that person. That was my favorite part about it too.
Yes.
For sure. Was there a challenge that you did that made you question why you said yes in the first place? Like, was it last night's eating trial or?
I was really lucky. Every challenge that I did was quite fun. So
you're telling me eating the anus and stuff was fun?
It was fine. I had no issue with that. I was so hungry by that
Your
stage.
eyes were just watering, but you were still so calm.
I was so hungry
impressive.
that I was so hungry.
You're like, I'll eat this. This is protein.
I was like, I'm actually quite happy. I'm not going to enjoy this, but I'm actually happy just to have something, in your stomach. Yeah.
Even if it makes it upset.
Even if it's horrible going down, it's something in my stomach.
Yeah.
So I was really lucky because all of my challenges were great.
That's so good. Yeah, you're lucky. Mine Mine were traumatic, but that's because I'm scared of spiders and all the above.
That too.
Yeah.
And I'm not sort of scared of snakes and that kind of stuff. So.
When you filled out the form, like the initial forms when you sign up to the show and it says like, what's your biggest fear? What did you say?
I wrote dying alone.
Like,
well, they asked
whoa.
me what my biggest fear is.
I mean, that's a very like, yeah, it's a good fear to have, I guess.
Yeah.
You've now instilled me with another fear. Where mine was like cockroaches and spiders, which is why they put me with them.
Of course.
So they couldn't really stitch you up and put you with your biggest fear because you're not going to die alone in there.
Well, exactly.
I mean,
I hope not. Possible. No, when they asked, when we did the interview, they kept asking and I just said, guys, like I mean this wholeheartedly. Like snakes, I'm fine. Spiders, I'm fine. Insects,
I guess you're used to growing up on the farm. You probably have
I have them every, like
I have like spiders in your tractor and stuff all the time. Oh.
I do. I quite often have like spiders on me like just every day.
No.
Yeah.
Have you ever filmed like a BookTok in your tractor and there's like a spider or something?
No, I haven't. But I've actually like hoped that it does happen.
I hope that happens. Because
I'll be often
the comments would go crazy.
I'll be often driving like my tractor and a spider will sort of just drop down in front of me. Yeah.
I would crash.
Yeah, in the bush.
I would crash. I had it happen to me once in a car and it was like above my head and my mum was in the car. She's like, didn't want to freak me out because she knows as soon as I saw it, I would probably crash the car. She's like, okay, Alli, we're going to stay really calm. We're going to pull over the car. And I'm like, why? What? She goes, let's just pull over for a second.
Yeah.
And then she told me and I screamed and whatever, the car was still in drive and it was an ordeal.
I had a snake. I was just driving out there the other day and I had a snake sort of slither up onto my windscreen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Go you. That's great. That's great. But yeah, dying alone, that's a now a new fear of mine. But fair. What about, I struggle with this. Like, what did the lack of distraction in the jungle force you to sit like alone within yourself and confront and deal with? Did anything like come up that, like, because I always found when I was in there, like I was confronted with thoughts and things in my mind that I probably, wouldn't have if I was out in the normal world and distracted by like my relationship at the time. And I just felt like it was a very confronting personal experience and like things just come up. Like, did you have anything?
Well, yeah, but I want to say to you, what you've been through, what you went through in the jungle is very similar to recovery from addiction.
Well, yeah. I guess
truly,
it kind of truly.
It really is. Okay. So, and
I was going to say, because, you'd probably already been there, sat with the confrontation of yourself, the worst parts of yourself that you've said. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I,
hence why you're so calm in the jungle.
Yeah. And I live in a caravan in the bush from, 9 hours. It's an hour and a half to the closest town of 500 people. So,
that's so crazy.
And I sit in a caravan, 90% or 80% of my life out there.
Yeah.
So sitting alone with my thoughts, and also I'm being a writer, it's a very lonely endeavor.
Yeah.
So sitting alone with my thoughts is something that I'm very used to, and it's something that truly through rehab and addiction recovery and through like 12-step like NA,
AA,
or AA,
yeah.
That's something that you have to do often.
Yeah.
And rehab and the jungle are very similar experiences.
Yeah, well, everyone's detoxing too.
I mean,
from their wines on the weekend and whatnot.
Was very similar to my time in rehab.
Yeah, how interesting.
Except this time I was sort of on the other side. And
Yeah, you'd already done the work.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Lastly, the real question is, would you ever do it again?
No. No, I wouldn't.
Truly is a once in a lifetime experience.
It is a once in a lifetime experience, but once.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once and only once.
Yeah.
But I guess I should tell my listeners to go and watch it now because it's still airing. So
it is. We've only got, I think we've pretty much only
how
got.
many left?
What's today? Wednesday. I think we've
Is it on tonight?
Yeah. Next week is the last week.
No way.
So the finale's Sunday week.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
So everyone needs to go to Channel 10 and 10 Play and watch it.
Yeah.
If they haven't watched your episodes already.
Yes. But you don't know, like, we don't know who gets there.
Wait.
I could be gone tonight.
Well, you could be. Hope you're not.
Well, we'll have to see.
We'll have to see. Okay, because we did it during COVID, so it was like we ended up having to like finish filming and then do voting and do like a live show at the end, and then people vote for who wins.
Yeah.
Which was fun. But
yeah,
we don't know how you go, but we'll see. So everyone needs to tune in. Well, that's enough a celebrity talk. Now I want to talk a little bit more about your journey and your story, get into a bit of like before anyone was watching you type, like before anyone was watching Luke. I guess my first question is, before all of this and before footy, what were you like as a kid?
I was always a very like soft kid.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was always really soft. Even like, my mum would tell the stories when I used to play footy growing up. I would know who on the other team. I knew who the sort of the capable boys were, and who the sort of less capable boys were. And mum would always say, she goes, you would always, go like really hard with the capable boys who were like competitors, and then she said when you'd come up against someone who was sort of a kid not as athletic or that way inclined, she was like, you'd always go really soft on them.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
that's
I was
interesting.
I was always a very kind, gentle kid.
Yeah.
I was a big mummy's boy. I'd climb into me mum's bed until I was like 10 years old. Yeah, I grew up out on a farm, so it was just read a lot, played make believe a lot.
Yeah, that's so nice.
Yeah, I was just a very
big imagination.
Yeah, I just had a big imagination as a kid.
So nice. I want to talk about your parents and especially about your mum, because I listened to your podcast with your mum and it was beautiful. Like it almost made me cry at the end. Yeah, tell me a bit about your mum and how I guess she has been an impact on you in the last few years and through your journey.
Yeah, well, both of my parents are wonderful people.
Yeah.
My stepfather and my mother. But
when
my
did
mum,
your stepfather and your mum?
My stepdad's been around since I was probably like 3 or 4 years old.
Okay, so super young.
Yeah, so I was super young. I don't remember a time before my stepdad.
Okay.
So so he's very much like my dad.
Yeah.
But my mum is an incredible woman. And my mum,
it seems like it.
Yeah, she's incredible. And she was by my side during she was my rock during my addiction and during some really, really dark, tough seasons of my life. And mum showed up every day, and I was horrible, and I would
when maybe she didn't need to, like if you were putting her through the ringer, but she's like, you're my son, let's do this together.
Truly, and I think, there were times where I would even I would try to force her away because I would see the pain that I was causing her, and I was like, if you just gave up on me, then we would both feel better. Yeah,
because you didn't want to cause her the pain
exactly,
too. Yeah, I get that for sure.
Yeah. So, and I did, and I put that woman through hell, and mum showed up every day, and mum showed unconditional love, and mum carried me when I couldn't carry myself. And the strength that she has as a human is enormous. And I've seen that strength repeatedly throughout my entire life. And she's my role model. She's someone I look up to, and she's someone who, if I can be half the person that she is one day, I'll be very proud.
That's really sweet. She must be so proud of you.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Do you mind me asking, this might be too personal, you don't have to answer it, but do you have a relationship at all with your biological dad?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. Great bloke.
Okay.
Love him.
Amazing.
Yeah, I talk to him all the time.
Yeah, because I always find it interesting when people have stories, divorcing young. And if you only remember the stepdad, you wonder if they're in the picture, if they're not. But amazing.
Yeah, I've known my real dad my whole life.
Amazing.
Great bloke.
That's so good.
Great bloke.
I love to hear that. So when did your NRL dream come about and how did it start?
So I started playing football when I was 4 years old because that is just what you did in the country.
That's young.
Yeah.
But it's what you did, I guess, growing up.
It's just what you did.
Yeah.
Everyone did it. All your friends did it. Your dad did it. Your cousins did it.
It would be weird if you didn't kind of thing.
You did not do it.
Yeah.
It was exactly. So I started playing rugby league when I was 4 and then I always, I loved the game growing up. And when I was probably about 10, I think, was when I started to really want to play in the NRL, and the NRL became a dream of mine. But it's funny, upon reflection, and I've spoken with my mum about this as well, and I always wonder whether perhaps it was my dream because it was the only dream that I thought was possible.
Yeah,
it was really
you were
the
kind
only,
of brought up with it, and
yeah.
it was you were good at it, and
I was
you were
good.
like,
Yeah, exactly
it
right.
made sense, kind of thing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, and living out in the country.
Yeah,
Like obviously, I love writing.
Yep.
I want to be an author. Like I'm going to become an author.
Yeah.
An author is something that I've always wanted to do.
yeah,
But growing up, I always thought, well, that NRL dream, like that's a dream that's possible.
Yeah.
Whereas like my other dreams, they're not possible.
yeah. I guess at the time it mightn't have felt reachable.
No. And you know, like
It's
what
like
young
totally
kid from the
different.
country, like you're not
Yeah.
looking at anyone around you being an author. You're not seeing
Yeah,
any
of
writers
course.
around you.
Yeah.
So you don't think, oh, that's impossible. And,
Yeah.
and that makes me always reflect upon, and that's sort of what I think about when I think about young kids now and kids just like, what are we telling these kids is possible?
Yeah,
You know, because
it sounds cliche. I mean, anything is.
yes, exactly.
If you put your mind to it.
Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know, and kids only need to be able to be told that it is possible. And I always wonder whether maybe, you know, that was my dream because it was the only dream that I saw as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Interesting.
sorry to divert there. But
No,
yes,
it's good.
yes.
Yeah.
So around about, you know, like that 10, 11, 12 was when I started, you know, really wanting to be an NRL player.
Yeah. And when did you play till?
I debuted in 2015 and I left in 2020.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, congratulations on all your success in that. Like, you've lived so many lives.
Oh.
I feel like you've just gone through like the roller coaster of lives, which is impressive. You should be so proud.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming off the back of that question and success at a young age, you were like a very successful player at a young age. And I do see that there is a lot of, I guess, money thrown into young people in sport that may not know how to handle those sums of money, I guess at like, 16, 17, 18. And I know you probably felt that in a way. And it's something that I can definitely relate to too, because I started in this world at 15, 16, and I was kind of the same. Like I was at an age where you probably shouldn't be making these kind of sums of money and you're not smart with your decisions.
No.
And, I would do so much so differently if I could like be 18 again and like make smarter decisions, I guess, with my finances. You being successful at a young age, what were like the biggest lessons, I guess, financially that you had to learn along the way, or like what would you do differently, I guess?
Ali, to ask an ex-gambling addict what he would do different financially is an interesting question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like obviously,
No,
do you think that was a huge part that contributed to the gambling? Because you're going out, you're having fun with your mates, and it just
absolutely.
I get it.
I think it's definitely one aspect.
Yeah.
And I could speak on all the different aspects, but just to speak on the financial aspect itself, it definitely is a big part of that. You know, when you and you know, this is something that I've learned as I've gotten older, but I was given a lot of money at a very young age, and I always felt like I'd earned that money. Yeah. You know, I trained hard.
You were training for it. You were playing for it.
I played hard for it. You know, I
Yeah.
sacrificed my body for this money. Like I've earned this money.
Of course, yeah.
And then once I quit football and I went back out into Western Queensland and I went into logging and then started my own business. Yeah. And I look at the hours that I put in and what I have to sacrifice to earn what I do now. And then I look back on, you know, what I did to earn, you know, double that. Yeah. And I think, you know, you have a very skewed sense of reality when you're given, you know, that much money that young. And despite what you may or may not think, I really don't think that you have worked, you've really sacrificed and worked hard to get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. I completely agree with that and relate to it more than you know. And I guess my next question was, I mean, that question moving into gambling, you have obviously been super open with talking about your gambling addiction, which is super admirable and strong, because I don't feel like a lot of, I guess, men, especially in sport back in the day, would talk about that sort of thing. Was gambling introduced to you first and foremost because of the footy culture, because it like sort of went hand in hand, do you think?
Well, gambling culture in Australia
is big in general.
Yeah. And we are so exposed to it from childhood. Yeah. You know, I remember class would stop, school would stop to watch the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah. So true. It's from so young. It's just part of
it really is
life with different events
embedded into Australian culture, gambling, and you're so exposed to it, and it's so normalised, and I still talk about this. If you walked into a pub and every Saturday you saw the same bloke there with a needle in their arm, everyone would say that person has got a really bad problem. You walk into a pub and you see the same person every Saturday gambling, you just be like, oh, that buddy Joe's here,
having
Joe's
a
at
few
the local.
beers,
Joe's doing his usual
having a bit
routine.
of fun. Yeah, it's interesting. Hey,
it's wild. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and it is just so normalised. And I was introduced to it, obviously, through just Australian culture. But then when you get into elite sports, I think it really goes to another level. Because elite sports are just gambling cultures in and of themselves, and that is what you do to pass time, because when you're an elite athlete, you can't have sort of hobbies that others do because, you've got to you travel a lot.
And it takes up most of your time.
It takes up a lot of your time. And in your downtime, you're usually trying to stay non-active.
Yeah.
I think a lot of hobbies, people have a lot of active hobbies, but when activity is your job, your downtime is non-active. So when you're sitting there, you have a lot of money, you have spare time, and you're not
like, why not?
You're not moving, and you're in gambling cultures, it just becomes the normal.
Yeah.
And it's so, and the senior players do it, and then they teach it to the younger players, and then the younger players become the senior players, and they teach it to the young players, and it's just a cycle.
Yeah.
So that's how I was introduced to, I would say, the kind of the levels of gambling that I was introduced to.
Totally. Okay. So when I guess it became sort of that addiction and you're like a huge part of your life, did you find at that time that, because you've spoken pretty openly about battling depression also, which I also have after my injury, had a few really, really horrible years. So I definitely relate to you in that way. But did you find that gambling was sort of like your escape in that sense?
Yeah.
Because I definitely feel like I did that, I guess like I was out partying and drinking with my friends and like in a way trying to just like not deal with the dark thoughts in my head. So did you feel like for you it was like that kind of escape?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, when we talk about, as we said before, and, I talk about aspects of addiction, financial being one, this is the other, like another aspect of the addiction, and that's the mental side of it.
Yeah.
And there are sort of a few threads to pull on in this regard. One being I was depressed and I had lack of fulfillment and lack of enjoyment or joy in my life. And when you, Gabor Mate has who's an addiction specialist, an incredible mind.
Yeah.
He always says, don't ask why the addiction, ask why the pain. And
I like that.
I think, all addiction at the end of the day is an issue with connection.
Yeah.
And when you don't have real connection in your life, and when you can't connect, because I was living such a fake life, I actually couldn't connect. So I had people
just
around
sort of
me,
it
but I didn't actually have connection.
Yeah.
Because you can't connect when you're living a lie. And so then you start to numb because you are in so much internal pain. So then I think the depression is also depression also comes from that, from a lack of connection.
Yep.
And a lack of, like genuine
I agree with that,
connection.
Sure.
Yeah. And so when you, like depression and addiction sort of go hand in hand because then you turn to numbing them because you don't know how to fix them.
You don't know how to deal with it or how to deal with it. Yeah.
So you turn to something that will numb.
Yeah.
And I abused drugs and alcohol as well. Yeah. So I was abusing drugs and alcohol and I was a gambling addict. And they were all of the things that made it possible for me to just, for my subconscious to survive.
Just to get through. Yeah.
And obviously they then destroy your life even further.
Well, that's the thing, because it's like you get into that cycle and it only makes it worse, because I always found like when I was going through it after my neck and I found like the more I went out and partied and the more I was like trying to seek like, I guess, intimacy or like just out on weekends and like trying to numb it all, and I wasn't being myself, the worse it would get, because you'd wake up the next day and then you'd be so sad and then you can't get out of bed because you're hungover. Like it's just this horrible cycle. So in fact, like I guess it has to get worse until you get to a point where you're like, I can't do this anymore.
There is a really interesting, what would I say, a really interesting concept, I think, and I've witnessed this many times. And there's something about the human condition that we have to go through so much pain before we will allow ourselves to find joy.
Isn't it crazy?
I don't know why that is.
Yeah, it's like we torture ourselves until you finally get to a point where you're like, I can't do this. Yeah, I can't do it, and I could be so happy. And you know that if you make changes, everything will change and life will become good and feel free again. But it's
absolutely,
it's interesting. I don't know why we do it as humans. What I do want to ask you, what would you want to say, I guess, to maybe a younger footy player or a younger man that might be listening, that might be slipping into some of the same habits, I guess, of addiction or toxic cycles? Like, what would be a piece of advice that you would want to tell them, like you coming out of it, you know, on the back end now? I'm sure it's probably lots of things, but
I could talk to young footy players for hours, I think, but I think it would be just to talk to the people that love you.
Yeah.
Or like tell the people that love you what's happening in your life.
Yeah.
Because as I said, talk.
Yeah.
Talk to the people who love you. Because I didn't.
Yeah.
And
that's when it gets worse.
And if I had of a lot earlier, I would have never ended up where I did. And just being honest with the people who love you and who care for you. Yeah. Always do that, even when times are good, when times are bad.
Yeah.
Just be very honest with the people who love you.
It's the perfect advice. And lastly, I guess to wrap that up, I heard you talk about on a podcast that I guess when you meditate, you like to talk to your younger self and like you sit down with your like 10-year-old self or your 80-year-old self. I think that's really beautiful, and it's something that I've only just done very recently because I went and saw someone because I felt like I was still struggling with the person that I was when I broke my neck and when all that happened. And he had told me like, you should just sit down one day or like go into the pool where you broke your neck or like go to that place and talk to 23-year-old Alli and tell her like, I forgive you in a way, you know, and I think that's a really powerful thing. And I went and did that and I felt like almost a new person after just doing that in my head or even just picturing that I was in that pool when it happened, and it helped me immensely. So is that like something that you would encourage people to do in that sense, like talking to your younger self, meditating? Like some people think it's stupid, but it's good.
It's the best thing you can ever do for yourself.
Yeah.
And this also comes back to when you talk about talking to yourself in the pool.
Yeah.
And I do this too, and this is what I have done, and it's exactly what I talked about with going back to the addict and telling them that they're loved, and that's exactly what you've just done. And I've had to go back, and I remember I picture times in my life and during my addiction, like I will go back to like the most horrible times, and I'll walk into the room and I'll picture the room. I know, you know, like I can picture myself like on the carpet, like literally like on the floor crying and wailing and just like, you know.
In that like rock bottom moment.
And I will walk into that room and I'll like take hold of that young man, give him a hug and say like, you're coming with me. I'm taking you away out of here.
Yeah, that's really nice.
And I think meditation and talking to the younger versions of yourself is something that I was probably the most, the most fundamental piece of internal work that I ever did for myself, and the most fundamental piece of internal work that I did in my recovery. Yeah. And something I still continue today, and life-changing. And being able to, and this comes through internal family systems, which is a psychological modality or framework developed by Richard Swartz, who's a psychologist from America. Yeah. And internal family systems is basically you have a family that lives within you. You know, you have an entire world that lives within you, and you go inside and you have exiles, and they're your younger parts of yourself that you've exiled. Yep. And then each exile has a protector. Okay. And that protector is like the bad behavior or the negative self-talk or, you know, an overreaction or an emotion. So whenever that scared, exiled part of you gets activated, the protector steps in. And
I really like that. I've never heard this.
Yeah, I can give you some books about
Please do.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm in like a big like self-development book phase, I guess. Like they're the books I'm reading at the moment. So please do.
They are. But so that's called internal family systems.
Okay.
And that was the most, like, as I said, that was the most fundamental piece of work that I did internally.
Unreal.
And you talk to the exile and you say, you know, you calm the exile down, and then you say, do you mind if I talk to, you calm the protector down.
Yeah.
And you say, do you mind if I talk to the exile? And then you sit down with that part of you and you say, what do you need?
Yeah.
What are you scared of?
Yeah.
What's happening right now?
Yeah.
And just being able to, and mapping those. And like I've written in a journal, like I've mapped those younger parts of myself.
That's so good.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't, whether people think that sounds silly or whatever,
Not
it works.
At all. Like that's the thing, it works.
Life.
Like some people might think it sounds silly, but sometimes you have to like try these things that sound silly and scary.
Oh, absolutely.
Just purely off the fact that it could change things for you and change everything for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Absolutely. It's really, really good. Okay, so moving on to something a little bit more funny and lighthearted. I want to talk about your BookTok success.
Yep.
We'll get into that, but I firstly want to speak about two different reels or TikToks that you posted. One is a more serious one. One is a much more funny one. You probably know which one I'm gonna reference, but we'll start with the first one, which is the more serious one. I saw it the other day. You posted a reel and you were talking about what it means to be a performative male.
Yep.
And I watched it and I just felt it was so strong and it was so incredibly well said. And I've never heard another man sort of talk that kind of way about that particular topic. So I wanted to ask you what pushed you to, I guess, make this post, and why do you feel the message that you shared was so important? Because I'll clip it and I'll play it on the podcast so people can listen to what you say, just for a bit of context. Okay, my loves, here's a small portion of the clip.
Let's talk about what it means to be a performative male, something that I get accused of online every day, always by other men. But to talk on this subject, I need to take you back to a time when no other men called me performative. No men called me performative when I abused drugs and alcohol. No men called me performative when I was depressed and medicated. No men called me performative when I cheated on my partners, often in front of them. No men called me performative when I was in active addiction. No men called me performative when I was admitted to rehab, a husk of a human. There was only silence. But when I decided to show up as myself, as a soft, book-loving, nerdy, fragile young man that I am, that's when other men found their voice.
It's super important to me because, you know, as I said, I did so many harmful things, painful things, and mainly to myself, but also to a lot of other people. And I was surrounded by men, and not one of them ever said, that's not okay.
Yeah, hey mate,
that's
like we shouldn't be doing this.
Oh, mate, you can't be doing that. Yeah. Not one of them. Not one of them. Not one.
Yeah.
And when I hit rock bottom, the people who rescued me were my mother and my sister.
Beautiful.
Not any men in my life.
So interesting.
And if I had have had, you know, if we had as a society, and I see this all the time, you know, as I said, no one has ever called me a performative male until I started just talking about books, which is crazy.
It's crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and for someone
you're literally sitting there talking about something you love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To spend, you know, the first 30 years of my life actually performing
it's kind of ironic,
masculinity.
Hey? Yeah.
Performing to a narrative that I thought was necessary.
Yeah.
And having nobody else around me ever pull me up or ever I would say draw a line in the sand around standards and ethics, behaviors. It's so prominent to me now when I look at the world and when I reflect.
Yeah.
And that's what drove me to make that video.
Yeah.
Because I just find it such an interesting thing. And I think and I think a lot of people like thought that I was sort of putting that video up basically to try and like defend myself, or so I say like, or be like, you know, in terms of I'm not a performative male kind of thing. But that wasn't the point of the video.
No, of course.
That was the vehicle that I was using to make the point.
Of course, yeah.
And the point is that we in our society today do not have male-to-male accountability.
No.
And that is so prominent. And people, and I've had a few people say like, oh, you obviously just had shit mates. And I was like, I lived and breathed football my entire life. I was surrounded by hundreds of men. Hundreds, thousands.
Yeah.
Not one of them ever said anything to me.
Yeah.
So I've either experienced, you know, I've either just had, you know, the thousands of men who don't do it and I've missed out on all the ones who do.
Yeah.
Or probably the more likely situation is that it's not anyway more common than
not. Yeah. That's why I thought it was important, because I do think that there would be a lot of young men or adult men that would watch that and, you know, agree in some sort of way.
And in saying that too, I also was a perpetuation of that as well. Like it wasn't like I was calling other men out.
Yeah.
It's not like I was the person who was saying that's not okay.
Yeah.
I was watching my friends do harmful things to themselves and others as well.
Yeah.
And I stayed silent.
Yeah.
You know,
because it was just what everyone else was doing.
And that's like, I'm not on my high horse here.
Yeah, yeah. You're not like calling people out.
Yeah.
You get it, like, because you've lived it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not on a high horse saying like, I call other people out. No, I've been silent my whole life too.
Yeah.
And I think that I'm at a place now where it's like, no, I can't be silent anymore.
Yeah.
And we as men can't be
great.
silent anymore.
Yeah.
And to have large scale change, large scale social change, it needs to start. I can post a video. That's not going to create large scale social change. It starts with me telling my 3 best mates, this is the standard that we accept. Anything outside of that, and you're not my friend.
Yeah.
And then when every group of mates in Australia does that, that's when we have large scale social change.
Yeah, 100%. Because I mean, you just answered my next question. I was going to say, what do you think are like the first steps for men to begin to make that change? But I think you've said it.
It's when you see your mate go to the pub every weekend and get blind every Saturday night and abuse drugs and alcohol, gamble too much. It's saying, mate, this is not on.
Yeah.
We need to pull you up. This is not how it should be. You should not be doing this.
Yeah. And that's what like a good mate is.
That's
how it
first
should
step.
be, at least. Yeah.
That's the first step.
So good. Okay. So moving on to the second reel. This one, you got 25 million views on. Sorry. I have to bring it up because it's hilarious. And I actually didn't even see it until recently. Like it came through my TikTok algorithm and I was like, this video, basically you're sitting in your tractor, you're eating lunch with filthy fingers.
Yeah.
And you're like, is this okay? Should I be eating lunch like this? And anyway, the best part about that video is the comment section. Yeah. And I don't know if that's
the comment section is hilarious.
It's crazy. It's like some of the best ones, I don't even know if I can say half of them on, I mean, my podcast is explicit, but I mean, some of them were like, ridiculous, hilarious. So funny. Like girls like, I now identify as lunch. Or like, hi, I'm lunch. Or like, oh my God, good. they get worse. I won't say that. I'm sure that's not what you expected when you posted that video. And because these comments, they have like hundreds of thousands of likes.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
It was hilarious.
And like one girl says something and everyone's like, yeah, what she said, what she said, what Sarah said or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was what Steph said.
It was Steph.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sarah. What Steph said, which I won't say what Steph said on the podcast. And I like the ones where it's like, why is this video 32 hours long? Like, so funny.
Yeah.
What do you think and feel like when you're like sitting in your room, like scrolling, just laughing? Like,
it was really funny because truly, I eat lunch like that all the time.
Yeah, you're like, this is a daily for me.
And I was just like, I wonder whether like what other people think of this because I genuinely, I'm like, I think this is okay.
Yeah,
I do this all the time. I think there's no sense. I wonder what other people think. And I was like, just put up posts.
It hit a really niche algorithm, I think.
And then I went back to work.
Yeah.
And I opened my TikTok up a couple of hours later and it is just melting down. And I'm
surprised
like,
the app didn't just like collapse, shut down.
I was like, what is going on? And I've gone into it, and it was so funny. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much.
It's so good.
It was hilarious.
It's
and
so
I really,
good.
and I, and I think the other thing you have to remember too is a lot of that was like a lot of it was sarcasm. Like it was,
no, of course.
it was all like, and I really enjoyed that. Women like felt so comfortable and just had so much fun.
Yeah.
In that comment section, like brought
honestly,
me so much
it's
joy.
like they're just having so much fun and they're all getting around each other and like someone else says something rogue.
It wasn't even about me after like a couple of hours. It was just like all
these girls
comments.
Are just like making friends now and just like sending your TikToks to each other. Like I could see it.
Like, and that's the thing, like it wasn't even about me after a couple of hours. Like the actual video itself wasn't even important. It actually became about like the community in the comment section.
It's like hundreds of thousands.
Hilarious.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah.
I just had to bring it up because I got a good laugh of it. A good laugh out of it the other day. But yeah, touching on BookTok now, when you first uploaded your first review, did you have any expectations going into it, or did you just did it for the love of, I love talking about this stuff and I want to find a community type thing?
Yeah, I did it for two reasons, and that was one for the 10-year-old me, and two to find community, because I'd been so divorced. Books were the deepest passion of my life, and I'd never ever been a part of a book community.
Yeah.
So I did it for that reason, because I wanted to be part of a community. And then, it's become something more to me now where I do it because I wonder what my life would have looked like if there was someone who looked like me, who spoke like me, who grew up like I did, who showed me that books, writing, etc. were possible when I was a kid.
Yeah.
If I had have seen me when I was 10.
Because you wouldn't, I guess, have had the chance to have been exposed to that when you were 10.
No, not at all, you know. And everything, everywhere I looked, fantasy and that was sort of shunned or, wasn't really highly, looked upon highly.
Yeah, especially at school and stuff.
No, especially at school, especially in football. If I pulled out a book, you would be immediately ridiculed.
Yeah.
By the other boys. And so I hit it all. I hit it all. And I just through the addiction and rehab and recovery, and books became such an integral part of my life again.
Yeah.
And I love them so much. And I just want to share my love online. And I don't care if I don't care if nobody watches it.
Yeah. It's for you. Yeah. And I guess the most beautiful part about that is because, and I think the reason it's gone incredibly well, which you probably know, is it comes across how much you love it. And it's you light up and your smile, like you light up screens because you can tell that it's something that you like put on this earth to talk about and be obsessed with, so it's really nice. And I think there will be young men that, could be scrolling on TikTok and might come across one of your videos and be like, I love dragons too, you know? And
exactly.
And feel like you're this adult man. They'd be like, they feel safe, like, asking their mum to go get this book or whatnot. So I think you're probably making an impact on more people's lives than you think. So
I would hope so,
Yeah. And I love that this has obviously turned into a whole nother area, I guess, of success for you, or another dream of yours, which is to write your own books. And you've just done a book deal, which is incredibly exciting. What can you tell me about the books that you're writing?
Oh, I can tell you everything. The book that I pitched like a number of books when I very first sat down with my now publisher. And the main one that I want to write though is what I'm writing now, which is a fantasy trilogy.
Okay.
So it's a trilogy, and it really does reflect a lot of my own journey.
Okay.
It really takes away a lot of the themes and the lessons and the wisdom from my own journey, and they will be very prominent in the book. But it's a story of a young man who discovers his magic in a world where his magic is outlawed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So he has a magic, but it's outlawed in the world, and he has to sort of navigate that.
It's so cool.
And he ends up. Yeah, I won't tell you any more than that. That's
I'm like, let us read it when it comes out. When do you think the first one will drop?
Hopefully the end of this year. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ahead of schedule. It was genuinely slated for beginning of 2027, but I'm ahead of schedule. So I'm just doing my second draft, just doing my second draft, my structural edit now, and I'm probably 2/3 of the way through it.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to read it when they come out. And that has now led to something else, because I saw that you've had some pretty exciting meetings with, I guess, like film producers on like film rights for your series and things like that. And I remember you telling me that the other day at Actor, and I was thinking, I was like, okay, 1, how do you write a book? 2, how do you write a script?
Yeah.
And you said to me, you're like, well, it's like riding a bike, Alli. It's like you're like, well, if I can do that, I can do that. If you put enough time into something, you know. So for me, I was like, let's go. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And like, how exciting for you.
It is. Yeah, it's super exciting.
Yeah.
And it's obviously extremely early stages.
Of
like,
course. It's conversations.
I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm not going to sit here and claim anything. It's
No.
extremely early conversations.
Of course.
In all reality, probably will never ever come into fruition. But
Yeah.
it's really exciting, and
To have these conversations.
Yeah, to have these conversations is really great. And I met with some really wonderful and people who I look forward to working with.
Yeah,
And
incredible.
not even just on like my own stuff, like helping them
just in
out with
general.
their stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah.
I love that you're just making the most of everything that's coming your way. And I mean, you've made it happen for yourself, which is, it's nice when these things come in and you're like, yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
Like,
I think you just say yes.
Yeah.
You say yes. And
we got one life.
What's not, what you will know, as you said, like your gut will know. If something's not for you, you're just like, that's not for me.
I can't do that. Yeah.
And I think that becomes easier too when you align yourself internally, and like when you align your internal world with your external world, it becomes much more easy to discern what is for you and what isn't.
100%. Well, I guess lastly, my last little segment and last few questions of this episode. I don't even know how long we've been going for now, but
It's fine.
it's flown by. Do you know what your love language is? So I've asked a few different people this on my podcast, like love language check. Do you know what the 5 are, and do you know what yours would be?
I do know what they are.
Yeah. You just
I'm not a big believer in them. I'm
the same, because I'm like, all of them are nice.
Yeah.
In different ways.
In different ways. I think, I think that they would be more of I think that they're less definitive and more, what would I say? They sort of, they flow, I think on some days I'd probably,
Different days.
I think different days I'd
Yeah.
need other things more than some, but I would tend to say that I lean towards words of affirmation. I'm a very big, I'm sure I'm a big communicator.
Yeah.
I really value communication, high level communication, and I also have an anxious attachment style.
Yeah, okay.
So my anxiety, I'm an anxious person in general, but my anxiety will interrupt sort of things. I'm highly sensitive. So words of affirmation to help dissolve my fears are really important to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so interesting and so good. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's always a tough one because it's very like person to person and circumstantial and day by day for sure. Lastly, in terms of love now and have gone through like everything that you've been through, what do you value more now than you may have used to in terms of
in love
and relationships?
I really value in love more so is the moments.
That's a great answer.
Because we don't know how long we have, and I don't know, and this goes through all my relationships, like my best friend, my mum, my siblings.
Any kind of relationship where there is love.
And and to both hold the dichotomy of this is fleeting, but this is also so important to me. I think that I just value the moments that I get to spend with my loved ones.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. It's a beautiful answer. Well, Luke, that's what I have for you. That's all I have for you today.
Beautiful.
Thank you. I mean, thank you for being honest and vulnerable as always. I admire you for always choosing vulnerability because most of the time we all find it like that's really hard to do. And sometimes it's really hard to open up and talk about your struggles and your journey. And I admire that about you and coming on So Alli today and talking about it. So
thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Of course. Do you have any last words? Mic drop moment. I mean, you've actually said so much on this podcast today that I think will stick with so many of my listeners as much as it will stick with me. So
just if anything, I would just say just take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself first. Take care of yourself first, because it's always about like Alli needs to look after Alli.
Mm-hmm.
Luke needs to look after Luke.
Correct.
Because if I'm trying to look after Alli and I haven't looked after Luke first, then it's pointless.
Absolutely.
So I would just say take care of yourself.
Great advice and so perfect. Well, thank you so much, Luke. Thank you for coming on So Alli. That's it.
Thank you for having me.
No, of course.